Today we have one of the coolest guys I know, Chuck Swafford. He's retired from the railroad. He's from Cleveland. He's played football, and he is the current owner of Ocoee Cigar Lounge. And it's going to be a real good discussion. How's that?
That's great.
So let me ask you this: you're a little younger than me, right?
About the same age.
But when did you graduate?
I graduated high school in '86.
So I was 84. You graduated probably with my brother.
But yeah, I did.
Yeah, at Cleveland.
Dee Burris.
Yeah. I went to Cleveland 9th and 10th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, and then I transferred to Bradley.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you play football there?
Yeah, I played at Cleveland High School been playing football since I was 6 years old, man. And then enjoyed a little bit of high school football, college football, and moved back to Cleveland, Tennessee.
When you was at football, you were at MTSU, is that right?
Yeah, Middle Tennessee. I played defensive back at Middle Tennessee. I was a running back at Cleveland High School / wing back. Got to Middle Tennessee, they never let me touch the ball.
Is that right?
We need you on the defensive side.
So Cleveland High School maybe had you in the wrong spot, maybe?
Possibly. I mean, it worked out. It worked out all right in high school as a running back, and I was where I was supposed to be. I actually enjoyed playing defense better. I did a lot of blocking for Marvin Gash. He ran a whole lot of yards.
I know Marvin.
But I caught a few
Marvin,
passes.
yeah.
Caught a few passes.
Was you fast?
I was fast, high school fast. I was. That speed helped us. Everyone on our team, running back, seemed like we all had pretty good speed.
When you played, you say you've been playing since you're 6. Did you play in the T-balls coming up?
I played at the Boys and Girls Club where I started at.
Oh.
My uncle Lomas Swafford took me and my cousins, Eugene Swafford and James Chancellor, we call him Squirt, took us down to the Boys and Girls Club, dropped us off, and we never looked back. And we went there every day and enjoyed ourselves. And me and all my cousins, we would walk from East Cleveland Apartments all the way to the Boys and Girls Club. East Cleveland Apartments is almost like going to Polk County on Highway 64.
Yeah.
From there, we would walk from there to the Boys and Girls Club every day and play all day and then walk back or run back.
During the summer?
During the summer and the winter. It'd be either freezing or scorching hot. We did it.
Now, are you on the board at the Boys Club?
I'm the president of the board of directors at the Boys and Girls Club.
That's a pretty big job, isn't it?
It is a pretty big job. It's a whole lot to bite off, a lot to chew on. But I'm fortunate that they thought enough of me to put me in that position. It's a great cause. It's Boys and Girls Club of the Ocoee region, which is Polk County, Monroe County, about to be in Ray County.
So that's Derek and White?
Yes, two great ones.
Yeah. Boy, they are, aren't they?
They are. It's great. It's wonderful working with both of those guys. They know what they're doing. They go beyond the scope of their what they're paid to do. It's just wonderful working with them.
Now, the Boys Club back then I remember going, they had football and basketball and
hockey.
I don't remember hockey.
We had hockey.
I remember bumper pool.
We had bumper pool. Man, I was the bumper pool champ one year. we had that with the foosball.
Foosball. I was good at foosball.
And we would play dodgeball. That's when you take that ball and try to knock somebody out.
Yeah.
And no one got upset. If you guys
I can still smell that smell coming out that back door. There was a summery smell or something, like a little hot, little humid.
And every now and then that fresh cut lawn.
Yeah, fresh cut lawn.
I mean, it was wonderful. There were a lot of great memories at the Boys and Girls Club.
Do you think that helped you in any way? I mean, what would you say the biggest thing helped for the Boys Club being a member then?
Dee, I know that it helped me become the person that I am today. The people that you run into, those relationships that you make. I've got guys that I met at 6 years old that I'm still really good friends with now, 50 years later. So, and then the guys that were there, they wasn't paid a lot.
No.
But they were there every day, and they believed in you, and they wasn't afraid to sit you down. I spent a lot of time in timeout at the Boys and Girls Club. Some guys, in the gym they got a ring of honor. The guys that were Boy of the Month, Boy of the Year.
Yeah.
I'm not up there. Yeah. I spent time on the bench. I grew though because I've learned.
Well, now the Boys Club today is a little bit different. It's more academic than it was physical, right?
That's true.
Is that good or bad, or is it just different times?
It's different times. When we were there, it was athletic driven. It was program driven. Now it is academic driven. It's still program driven, just not athletic. But it's still wonderful. It's great. You have to come down there and visit, man.
Well, I've been down there, and of course I did the renovation on their new building.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and and they took me up there to a tour, and they showed me a room where students or kids can come in, and they actually help them with their homework for like 2 hours or an hour or something.
Teen center.
That's a big deal, isn't it?
I mean, that's a great deal.
Because a lot of times when you're in school, you don't understand something, but somebody else can tell you besides the teacher, and you seem to get it for some reason.
Click.
Yeah.
And it click for you. Sometimes when your mom and dad tell you something, it's there and it's going one ear and out the other ear. But then there's someone that you respect on the side when tell you the exact same thing that your mom and dad told you. It clicks. And it's kind of like that, man, and it just reinforces what they're getting at the middle schools and the elementary schools and the high school.
It's just an added bonus that everybody should do. Of course, I used to go to the community center some too. Did you ever go there?
I did. We used to go to the community center and play softball.
Swim.
And go swimming. We loved to go over there and go swimming.
I had swimming lessons there. I failed every time. I never could swim.
Well, I had swimming lessons at the recreation center over there at College Hill. Yeah. At that swimming pool over there. My uncle just
Mosley Park?
Mosley Park. My uncle kind of just threw me in, and
that worked better.
I had to survive.
Well, they're doing a lot of renovations over there, aren't they?
They are. They got some really good, got some strong leadership over there right now. I think her name's Shanika Jones.
I think so.
Yeah, she's doing a great job over there.
Well, it's clean.
It is clean.
It's clean. You drive by there and you think, man, that's clean.
Yeah.
Even the grass and everything.
She's doing a great job.
But when you went to college, did you have any aspirations of being a professional football player or anything like that, or how does that work?
When I was born, I had an aspiration of becoming a professional football player. But after college, during college, I did have scouts come and check me out. I had several teams to come in and work me out. Went to a couple of combines. It just didn't work out.
For whatever reason. You don't know what.
This is the thing. I was considered small. I had the speed, but there was guys way faster than me and way bigger than me. And
so given the choice.
And I went to a smaller school and given the choice. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand. There's so many NFL football players in this world, but there's only slots for so many people can get those spots, which is less than 1/2 of 1%.
So you could be a player that's as good as somebody in the NFL, but it just didn't work out.
Exactly. Or you didn't have the right connection.
Yeah, and if you got somebody that's 6'1" and he's fast, and you got somebody as fast as him, but he's 6'5", You're going to go with the 6'5".
You go to 6'5" if he can play.
Yep.
And they're both equal as far as playing. Yeah, you go with the bigger guy.
Did you ever get really rocked by people coming through the line and you think, man, that guy hit hard?
I think I got hit really hard in high school. In college, I played defensive back. No, I didn't really experience getting really rocked. But in high school, yeah, a few times being a running back, you're gonna get.
Yeah, especially running back.
You're gonna get popped a few times.
Did you ever get hit and your helmet went this way and your shoulder pads went that way and you got up and you had to readjust and everything?
Well, let me tell you this. We played East Tennessee one year. We went to East Tennessee. I was in my hotel room, and then these beautiful women kept on knocking on my door all night looking for Chuck. So they would tell them, my room, it turned out Chuck Norris was his room was right across from my room.
What are the odds?
Yeah, but they were coming to my room.
Yeah. If you opened the door, they'd been shocked, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I actually have a picture of me and Chuck Norris.
Did you meet
I
him
went over there,
then?
knocked on the door. He come out. He took pictures with her. He's a cool guy. He was a really good guy. As a matter of fact, we invited him to the game. He come down to our sideline. He stood on our sideline. He was shooting a movie at East Tennessee, which would where's that at? Is that Clarksville?
Clarksville, yeah.
Anyway, he was shooting a movie there. But anyway, on our sideline, they ran what we call a wheel route. Running back kind of loop around, and the quarterback throwing the ball. And I saw it, I read it, and I come up hard as I could, and we collided. I knocked his face mask off. My face mask fell off too. So to answer your question, yes, he was knocked out without a face mask, and my face mask was knocked off too.
You overdid it.
Overdid it, yeah.
But that's the idea. You got to give it all when you're in those positions, don't you?
You have to. You have to, and if you lack in an area, you're gonna have to make up in another area. So my was size. I wasn't a big guy, so I had to go 100%.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9", 5'9.5".
I think I'm 5'8.5".
Okay.
When you're below 6, you count the halves, don't you?
Oh yeah, you have to. You have to. In the program, I'm 5'10".
Yeah.
But I'm only 5'9.5".
You ever see these celebrities on TV and you Google and say how tall are they? And they always seem a little taller than what they probably are.
Right. Chuck Norris wasn't tall. He's a small guy.
I would have thought he was a big guy.
Right. Wesley Snipes. I met him in Nashville. Mm-hmm. He's a small guy. So, I mean, I've met quite a few of them that aren't really big guys.
Are there some NFL players that are 5'7", or is that just no chance?
The Miami Dolphins, the Cheetah, what's his name? He's about 5'10", 5'9", about 5'9", but he can fly. He can he's probably the fastest guy in the NFL, or one of the fastest.
But boy, if you're under 5'8" or 5'7", you just don't have a chance in that.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, it can be done, and I'm sure it has been done, but it's tough.
Life is not fair like that, is it? You think, it's just not fair sometimes.
I don't know. I never really thought about it like that. I've always been able to take things for what they are and move on.
Just deal with it.
Deal with it and move on. I've had a pretty good life. I've enjoyed it.
Now, after college, you actually are a locomotive engineer, right?
Yeah, I went to CSX Transportation.
Right out of college, or what?
Not right out of college. I worked several jobs. I had to find my niche. But I ended up working at Rich Product. I started at a place called Rich Products, where I was an industrial supervisor there. But I went on to work at CSX Transportation, where I was hired out of Etowah initially, but ended up based out of Atlanta. And so I took trains back and forth as a conductor and then an engineer from Chattanooga to Atlanta, back and forth. After I left there, retired from there, my cousin, I was out, I had ankle replacement surgery, and my cousin Abu Swafford called me and said, hey Chuck, I want to open up a cigar lounge. I said, let's go. And we never looked back, and we opened up Ocoee Cigar Lounge in 2019.
In a way, it seems like you've been there longer than that, but in a way, it seems like it's not been that long. Isn't that weird? I mean, it's a weird concept, and I've been in there. I really enjoy it. You can go watch TV or just sit. And I've had a few meetings in there. You know, I've had some people meet me there, and it's just a place you can go. But it's really unique, isn't it?
That's what I hear. People come in and they say it is kind of unique, but because of the atmosphere that we have there. We've had people come up from Atlanta and oh, this is a real cigar lounge. It's not a lot of blaring music going on,
no.
you know. We got the jazzy stuff going. We have sports on TV or cars, and guys in there talking about their guns and where they work at, women. We, man, we talk about everything. We talk about the dogs and children. But
It's almost an adult boys club.
It is. It is. The wives call it daddy daycare. We got guys, their wives will drop them off and they come in, spend the day with us, you know.
What time y'all open?
We open up at noon.
Noon.
Every day we open up at noon. We close at 8 p.m. On Wednesdays, we'll stay open to about 10 p.m. Friday and Saturday, we stay at 10 p.m. unless there's a fight or big game on.
Do you get pay-per-view?
We'll get pay-per-view and hang out and watch the fights and MMA, boxing, different stuff like that. This coming weekend we'll watch the draft. We'll stay open and watch the draft. So,
tell me more about this locomotive. How do you drive a train?
Very cautiously.
I mean, what made you think I'm going to drive a train?
Yeah, I had a friend, a fraternity brother, that kept inviting me. He worked in HR. He wanted me to come and work at CSX, and I didn't want to work on the railroad. I was in marketing and sales. That's what I did. That's what I wanted to do. But he kept on telling me. Then one day, times got a little hard. That was in almost a depression. Anyway.
What year was this?
I'm not good with the years.
About how old were you?
Bush was president.
Times were tough.
Times were tough.
Tough.
Jobs were a little low, and I just got, and he was like, hey, come and work. I get 2008.
Oh, yeah.
He asked me to come and work at, apply for CSX. So I went to Etowah, it was like 60 guys, and they were only taking about 10 to 20 out of that 60. And I was one of the ones that they picked to go to work, In 2008, I went to work at CSX Transportation, and I was like, hey, man, why you didn't tell me that the pay was this good in the very beginning?
Yeah, then you'd been there.
I would have been there
So
a whole lot earlier.
So it's
really
pretty
good pay. It's really good pay.
Is it union or?
It is union, really good benefits,
Man.
So you retire, and your wife get a check to match your check, her own check, stuff like that, really good benefits. Well, anyway, I started out as a conductor. The conductor's in charge of the whole train. He's in charge of putting the chemicals where they're supposed to be in the train. You can't have the rail, certain stuff can't be next to other things, and it's that conductor's job to look at that sheet and make sure this train is built the way it's supposed to be built.
So you're actually loading the train, in charge of loading the train too? Or is that?
Well, it depends on the job, what you get that week. If you're working in the yard, you're in charge of building that train. You're going to take that paper or that order, and you get those cars out of the different spots, and you build that long train that we see going through town.
So you're putting the flammables in the back, or the grocery edibles in the front?
Right. Things. For example, you don't want a tanker full of poisonous chemicals or gas next to a rail car, where a rail could puncture, or log car, log can puncture that thing. So that's just an example. But that's what the conductor does. Conductor's like a supervisor. He's over the whole train.
So he's like the guy out in the yard's like the guy at in the store, like in a warehouse. He's loading it and everything.
Like picking your groceries.
So how
and putting
many
it together.
cars would be on it?
Anywhere you can have a train with 10 cars on it. You can have a car, 200 cars on it. Almost you can have a car, almost 2 miles long. And then as a conductor, I hated that because if anything happened in that train, and we were in the back country, and it might be 2 or 3 in the morning, and you have to inspect that train. You have to walk all the way down one side, inspect that side of that train.
For what?
For whatever's wrong, make sure the brakes go bad on one of the cars, or one of the cars is wobbling or something. They have defect detectors on the rail, and you get a reading. And if something's going wrong, you get a reading over the radio. So we have to stop the train and inspect the train and try to find that car.
I mean, walk the track.
Walk the track.
Like this.
Right. And the track isn't nice and smooth.
No.
It's like
downhill.
That, and it has ballast, which are the big sharp rocks. And sometimes it's like hills, like all the way down the hill, man. It's really precarious.
Yeah.
And I'd walk that thing some nights, man, and you can hear those coyotes back in the woods, and you can't see anything further than this from your face, man. And you wear it, and in the winter, in the summertime, you're worrying about snakes and other things. Out there, man, big cats. And when I was going through Polk County, man, you have to worry about. I saw a bear out there one time. But you walk down one side, that's like walking a mile or two, and then you have to turn around and walk it back on the other side, inspect the other side until you find what's going on.
That may take you an hour.
It could take hours. It just depends on what's going on.
How many's on the train? People?
Usually 2 of us.
Just 2?
But they've been fighting that here lately. I saw where they're trying to make it a one-man crew, which is
That's not
that's
enough.
crazy to think
Somebody
about
could have a heart attack or something. Do you drive it like this, or how do you drive it?
Well, that's as a conductor, but as an engineer, I mean, you got to worry about the air on the train. You got the air build up on the brakes. That's one of the most important things there. Otherwise, if that air don't build up the way it's supposed to build up, you're not gonna be able to stop that train. It's hard to stop it with a full case of air, But the main thing is let the air build up.
Why would you have to stop it? Because you're coming to the stop?
Because you're coming to a stop. You're going too fast. You don't want to get 1 mile over speed limit.
So they have speed limits?
Oh, yeah.
How do you know what
Definitely.
that is? It's on the paper or something?
It's you know your territory. And that's one of the things about the training. Mm-hmm. You know that you learn that territory. And we'll have a post, but you need to know it before you get to that post. So you know your territory. So you have that train under control by the time you get to that speed limit. Whenever you get to that speed limit,
you got to prepare to be there.
Right. If that speed limit is 45, you need to be at 45 when you get to it.
And that's mainly because there may be railroad crossings or something, I guess, right?
Railroad crossings, be other trains coming in an opposite direction.
Oh, yeah.
But mostly, though, because the train that you have sometimes you have a train that's maybe good for 70 miles an hour, maybe good for 60 miles an hour. But if that track is only 55 miles an hour and you're going, or you have a car.
So the track could be only rated for?
It could be only rated for 35. So you have to slow down, even though and the train will have its own rating also. You may have a train that have one car, and that car is not allowed to go over 10 miles an hour. But all the other cars be rated for 60 miles an hour. You got to go 10 miles an hour.
You got to go the least.
The least.
Well, that's complicated.
It's a whole lot that goes into it, but the main thing is being able to stop. And then when you're taking off, man, you got to know how to ease into it. Otherwise, the train snap in half. If you pull it because it's so much power, you don't want to snap the train in half either. That's a lot of work there.
Can you go 70 miles an hour in a train like that?
I think the highest that we had track-wise was 60 miles an hour.
That's pretty fast.
That's fast on the train.
You couldn't jump out like the Cowboys did, could you?
No, not at 60 miles an hour.
Especially when the bank's going down.
You could, but it's not going to be it's not going to be good.
You ever find anybody on the train? Like hobos?
Yeah, I guess I can talk about it now that I'm not there. I know we was going, I found some people on a train one time. They were going to Atlanta, and it was freezing. outside, and I didn't put them off.
How did you know? When did you detect them?
I had to inspect the train. You have to inspect the train before you leave as an
Before you
engineer. I was checking the car, and they were back on one of the cars, and I let them stay.
What'd you do? Just
Well, I told them, do not touch anything.
because you was in a situation, you had to just make the best judgment you knew.
Right. Do not touch anything. You can derail us, you know. And I let them stay. I even gave them my lunch. But those jokers stunk. And they had each one, there was 3 of them, and each one of them had a dog.
Never failed. Why does they always have a
I
dog?
always have a dog.
Most homeless people will have dogs.
You know, it's companionship, I guess. I don't know.
Guess. But I think I'd be more apt to feed the dog than them well, we got a lot of homeless people in Cleveland, don't we?
We got a few.
Seems like we're getting more.
Well, yeah.
I guess that's just
As you
because,
grow, as you grow, it's gonna come.
yeah, it's not, I don't think because Cleveland's just getting more. I think they're just getting more because there's more people. I mean, the more people you have, the more you're going to have of this type or that type.
Right. As you grow, yeah.
So we got to learn to deal with that just like everything
Yeah, we gotta
else.
take the good with the bad.
You know, I was driving behind the Salvation Army, I think it was yesterday, and I saw lockers outside. I think they have lockers for them.
Really?
Because there were just lockers on the back side of the building.
Oh, okay. I never thought about anything like that.
But it makes you wonder how they got in that position. So did you ever run across cows or something on the tracks?
Yeah, man. I saw a whole herd of cows get wiped out on the tracks. There was just cows laying everywhere, man.
Does it stop the train or can it?
It can, but train, man, it just got a front, as they call it, cow kicker.
Yeah, that's what it's for. Isn't it?
That's what it's for. And just kick them out to the side, man, and just keep on going. I saw like 10, 12 dogs get wiped out. I'm coming from Chattanooga, and a guy come off the cliff right there, in Tyner area, come off, there's a little cliff. He come off that cliff, where Erlanger, come off that little cliff, landed on the tracks. And we see him. And I see a guy in there like this. And we hit him.
You tried to stop the train?
At this point, we didn't. I mean, we didn't want to derail.
All you do is,
Well, he was I'm saying, we hit him, knocked him off the side of the tracks. And it was at that moment I said, I quit. This is it for me. This is my last trip. Because I was the conductor then. I'm the one that has to get off and go back and inspect. And I was expecting to, and then I'm walking back. I guess it's about 3/4 of a mile before we got stopped.
God.
So I get off, and I'm walking back, and I'm telling myself, this is it. This is my last trip, because I knew I was going to find body parts in the train.
Sure.
So I'm walking, I'm looking. I get all the way back there. I see the police, and this guy walking, this black guy walking. And I said, did he make it? And the police said, ask him.
Golly.
He had like 2 drops of blood on his shirt. And I looked at him, he was a black guy with braids. And I said, where's the other guy? He said, what other guy? I said, I saw a white guy put his arms up. And he said, this is the only guy that was in the car. So I called back on my radio. I called the engineer. I said, what did you see in the car? He said, I saw a white guy in the car.
He was making sure you weren't.
Making sure.
Yeah.
And the police heard him. I mean, heard him come back. Another guy heard him. He said, I was the only one in the car. We both saw a white man and his arms up like this in the car, you know, just before we hit him. But it was a black guy that got out of the car.
And the black guy didn't say there was a white guy with me?
He said, no, he was the only one.
That's
They went back and checked the car to make sure no one else was there. I mean, it was like a can. I don't know how he got out. It was like a smush can, man. As a matter of fact, when we hit him, we knocked the car back up against the side of the cliff, which is all brick. So I don't know how he got back out, how he got out.
Golly. And you're telling the truth, I can tell.
Oh, I'm definitely telling the truth.
Wonder what happened. Wonder what the deal was.
We chalked it up as his angel protected him.
It had to have been.
There's
no other excuse. There's no other thing.
I mean, how do a man come off a cliff lands upside down on rail tracks,
Yeah.
which is metal.
Mm-hmm.
Survived that.
And get slammed into a
And
wall.
then he get hit by a multi-ton train, 60-ton train, and it slams him back up against the wall. And then he gets out. No injuries at all.
I bet the other guy with you I bet y'all really had a discussion. They're like, are you, did you see, I saw that. Did you?
Well, I didn't quit. But it was like, we were perplexed. We just, oh my God, what happened? What just happened,
That is wild.
Let me tell you about Capstar Bank. They're located in Nashville, Hendersonville, Gallatin, Athens, Madisonville, Sweetwater, Etowah, and in Cleveland at 950 25th Street and 3855 North Ocoee Street. I've used them. I like them. Give them a try. They're no problem.
So tell me, tell me about that.
Well, I was coming north from Atlanta one time, and again, I was the conductor again. And we were coming, we were motoring. We get to Dalton, Georgia, and we're coming around the curve. And as we come around the curve, there's trees and everything. The engineer, he can't see anything. I'm on the outside, I can see. So we come around that curve, and there's an 18-wheeler stuck on the track. I hit the emergency brake, but it's too late. We hit that train, man. We hit that 18-wheeler. We knocked that thing into 3 pieces, and it was carrying furniture. It was furniture scattered all over the place. Fortunately, no one died. We've had some close calls. I did have one where the guy got his legs cut off. But we were going through Chattanooga again. There's a guy, he was sitting right on the track, man. And we're blowing the horn, trying to get him off the tracks. And he just sit there, and I just knew it was going to get him. We missed him. But I called my dispatcher to let them know that there's a guy sitting on the tracks. I finally get the dispatcher. Dispatcher said, too late. The train behind you he already hit him.
God, so the train behind
Yeah, it was a train behind us. He cut his legs off.
He might have been on some kind of suicide mission.
Maybe. There's quite a bit of that. It just don't get publicized on the railroad.
When you go across the railroad tracks now, do you look both ways?
I look both ways with a vengeance, man. That's because I know what's
Because
coming.
I look like this.
Even with the the ones with the electronic arms that go down, when they come up, man, I still watch because I know there's been times when I've been on the train and those things didn't go down, and we've been fortunate. Mm-hmm. So, people should always pay attention. I can remember as a kid going to the Boys and Girls Club. We would, if the train was on the track, man, we would climb across those trains and we would walk up under them. Mm-hmm. We would ride from one side, crossing to the other side. Mm-hmm. Man, we were crazy. We didn't know, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
But now that I know, I was like, oh man, we were lucky. We were lucky.
So if you come across the train track, you go like this, you really look.
I really look. I'll make sure nothing's coming.
Well, if a train conductor and engineer really looks, we need to too.
You better.
So when you left there, when you went to Atlanta, did you have to stay overnight and then come back the next day, or do they just turn you around and sleep on the train, or how's that work?
It just depends. On the railroad, as long as you've had 10 hours of sleep, they call you work because you didn't really have a shift.
Yeah.
They call you 3 in the morning, they call you 1 in the morning, they call you 3 in the evening, call you at noon. As long as you had that rest, they call you come to work. And you got 2 hours to get there. So sometimes when I would land in Atlanta, man, if I was really tired, I just go to the hotel and stay at the hotel. And then when they call me, I get on the train and come back to Tennessee. And then Tennessee was considered my away hub. But I would come home to my house here in Cleveland. And then sometimes I would just drive back from Atlanta. If I wasn't tired, I would just drive back from Atlanta back to my house just to be at home.
Yeah, it's hard to beat being home, isn't it?
But whenever I did stay in Atlanta, I would go to the cigar lounges. I didn't want to go out partying and dancing and
Yeah.
everything, so, but I would always go to the cigar lounges and just hang out because that's more my style.
Yeah.
And so that things work, and I've always had that desire, to open up me a cigar lounge. I've only been smoking. I would always have a cigar in my mouth, but I never really smoked them. I just chew on them or just hold
A
it
lot
in
of
my
people
mouth.
do that. But it's not necessarily about just a cigar lounge. That's just what it's called. It's almost a modern form of speakeasy in a sense, right?
Somewhat. It's more, like you said before, it's more like a boys' club for grown men.
Yeah.
Guys come in there and relationships are formed. Guys come in there and they meet guys that they hadn't seen in years, went to high school with. We got people moving in here from California, people from Florida. We have quite a few people now coming in from Chicago for some reason. We've got friends that we've made from Kansas City, from Missouri. They're coming from everywhere, New York. And we're the hub. We feel like we're the hub because they all come there and they're like, hey, where you come from? How you hear from us? And how'd you hear about us? And hey, we're from New York and we're checking out the area. We're about to move to the area. So Cleveland, Tennessee is getting a lot of new people in this area.
It surely is. You have a pretty good sized humidor too, right?
We have a great humidor. We can't keep everything in there, no matter what size it is, but we have a great selection. Our customers appreciate the fact that we have a really good selection, how we rotate stuff in and out.
You have the cedar walls and all that stuff, or
Our humidor is made with Spanish cedar.
Spanish cedar.
Hard to get.
See, I built the Elixir downtown, and Teresa had a small, pretty good size, 6 by 8 or something.
Yeah.
And we used that Spanish cedar.
That's what you use.
It's
Spanish
expensive,
cedar.
yeah.
It's very expensive.
Expensive.
It's probably the most expensive thing we had to do to, get going.
Yeah.
Other than cigars, but that Spanish cedar, it's hard to find.
Oh, it is. I got it from a guy that specialized in humidor equipment. He sold the Spanish cedar and he sold the humidifier and the electronic controls. You have to keep it on a certain thing, and you have to drain it and clean the filter. And so I got a little bit of an edge, but yours is much bigger than that.
It's a nice size one. Like I said, the best thing about it is that it's the selection. We have a decent selection, and the cigars are well kept because of that Spanish cedar and because of how we take care of them.
Is there a difference between a cigar smoker and a pipe smoker, personality-wise, would you say?
No, I don't think so. Some people may think so. I put them on par, same type of guy.
But a pipe, sort of an older, like the guy on My Three Sons, he always smoked a pipe.
He had a pipe,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised. We have guys that come into our lounge. We sell pipe tobacco. They come in and they smoke their pipes. They love that pipe. I actually love the smell of the pipe.
I like the smell of the pipe.
Yeah. So it's some young guys that come in and they're smoking pipes. I've learned a lot, just opening up that cigar lounge. Met quite a few people.
Well, when your cousin called you, had you retired already by then?
In my mind, I had. My wife didn't want me to go back to the railroad. She said it was too dangerous. She didn't want me to go back, and it would have been hard on me to go back. And they didn't want me to come back because of my ankle. I had ankle replacement surgery. And walking on that ballast, as I told you, it's difficult. It's not an easy
How'd you get the
task.
problems with the ankle? Was that through football?
Well, I actually broke it riding a bicycle. Me and my cousin Eugene were racing bikes. When we was in junior high school, or middle school they call it now, in 7th grade, and I broke my ankle riding a bicycle that summer. And then it just kind of deteriorated always.
It didn't bother you through football or nothing?
Well, it did, but not bad. I played high school football on it, played college football on it. After college football, I played on a national flag football team. I played there, and then after that, that's when I had to have something done to it. I had surgery on it. And then I waited, and then I had to have it replaced. So there we go.
But in 2019, when your cousin called you, had you thought about a cigar shop?
I'd already thought about it. Even on the train, guys will pull out their cigarettes to smoke cigarettes. You're not supposed to do that either.
Yeah.
So guys would pull out their cigarettes to smoke cigarettes. I would pull out a cigar. Cigarette smoker didn't like the cigar smoke. I didn't like the cigarette smoke.
Yeah.
So I would pull out my cigar and then we ride down, man. It's like we was on a mobile lounge. You know? And one old man, he used to call me Blue. That's my nickname, Blue.
Where'd you get that nickname?
I've had that nickname since I can remember being called anything. I think it was the Pew Boys that started calling me Blue, but
The Pew Boys.
Gregory Pew, Reggie Pew, Dale Pew. So I call them the Pew Boys.
P-U-G-H?
Yeah.
Kesman?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I know Desmond.
Kesman.
Oh yeah, Kesman. I think he's a relative of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kesman's
I like
one of the
him.
relatives. Yeah, good guy.
He is.
But I had a pair of blue shoes I can remember as a kid, and they were like tennis shoes. And me and I can't remember which one of them it was, but we were out there picking blackberries, and he said, "You always got on blue." So calling you Blue, so they just stuck with me.
I guess you
I've
just...
been called Blue all my life, and you know I haven't been crazy about it. And then one of my friends, Chris Wood, said, "Man, that's a cool name." I started liking it then.
Yeah. I used to know a lot of people named Red, you know, because
Yeah.
they're red-headed, but never Blue.
Yeah.
I knew a guy from Coker Creek. His name was Blue. They always called him Blue. I don't know why.
It just happens.
So when your cousin called you, you thought, hey, I've been thinking about that, or how did you?
He said, "Chuck, I want to open up a lounge." He said, "I want to open up a lounge." I said, "Let's go." And he and we never looked back.
Y'all get along good and all that stuff?
We get along great.
Well,
It's
ain't
like
that good?
It's weird. We think alike. He and I both, we think alike, and that helps also. And then, I mean, he has his strengths, and I have my strengths, and we both ride on that, man. And if we both don't like what's going on, we don't use it. If one of us want to do something, the other one don't want to do it, we don't do it.
So it's either even.
It's either both of us want to do it,
Yeah.
or we don't do it. You know, or if I see something he want to do and I'm like, I don't know, but it might be a good idea. Let's do it.
Did y'all do it for money or just for to stay busy, or what was the real
I would say
motivation?
I say motivation would be a combination of everything: money, stay busy.
You think that's important, staying busy?
Then it is important. It is important. I mean, if you're just sitting still, man, you're dying. You got to move around. You got to live. I'm still growing. I'm still learning the business. I'm learning the industry. Abu and I are both entrepreneurs. He had a previous business. I had a previous business. And, and it was just like, let's do it, man. And I'd been thinking about it. I had the logo already, how I wanted the logo. And
You got a nice logo.
thank you.
Yeah, I like they got the Indian thing on there, like it's downtown.
Me and Abu, we sat down with that man and we worked on it. We sent it to Quantel Langford. I think he's living in California now, and then he put the final thing together for us. And it was like, poof, that's good. And if you notice, we got the Indian in there. We wanted it to be Cleveland, Tennessee. That Indian represents
It's
Cleveland,
a good
Tennessee
picture
for
of it.
us. Yes.
Is that embroidered?
It is embroidered in there. This is embroidered.
Yeah. It's got the blue on it.
Kirkpatrick Design did this for us.
It's blue.
Yeah, I got some blue. We got to have some blue. Now, see, that
Who'd
blue,
you say?
that's the sky.
Yeah.
And then that white right there represents the mountain, the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
And then we got the Indian, and then we have the pipe and the cigar. So we got everything covered. We wanted, and we got the arrows there. You know, we're the Ocoee region. So we wanted to represent the region.
Not
the
just
Native American,
Bradley County or Cleveland, just the region.
Ocoee region. You know, we got definitely Cleveland, yes. But, we wanted to give homage to the Native American.
They were here first.
They were here first. And they're well known for their tobacco use, which is why people would put an Indian out front That would represent
In front of all a wooden Indian in front of cigar shops.
yeah, that would represent this tobacco here,
You ever watch Petticoat Junction?
I did not.
Well, they drove a train, and he always had an Indian in the lobby, a wooden Indian.
Oh, okay.
It's funny how they wooden Indians always go with cigar shops, don't they? Because a lot of times they'll depict a Cherokee Indian with a long pipe.
Peace pipe.
Yeah, and it's like this long.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they used to have peace pipes.
But a lot of times that was tobacco in there that they were smoking.
Mm-hmm. I remember on those old westerns, they'd say, Chief so-and-so wants you to come into his tent, a teepee, to smoke a peace pipe. I think that's because when you get calm, like me and you are right now, you find out that you're thinking the same thing, and
Yeah.
Both sides don't want war or whatever. So that's why they called it a peace pipe.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's what
Make
it's called,
peace. Yeah.
just to make peace.
Right.
And maybe that's why it's in front of the cigar shops a lot of times.
Sounds good to me.
That made sense.
We get a lot of people, speaking of peace pipes, we get a lot of people in there. It's kind of like breaking bread to come in there and smoke cigars, and it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can be on the beach and you smell that cigar, and there's a guy there. He's like, hey, man, what are you smoking? And he'll tell you what he's smoking, and you get to, before you know it, you done met a friend.
Yeah. And somebody's hand rolled that a lot of times.
It is. It's hand rolled. We only use hand rolled cigars in our place. We don't allow cigarettes or the machine cigars. We use hand rolled cigars or pipe only at our place. We've had some interesting people to come in. We've had the assistant surgeon general come in. He was in the area working, and he wanted a cigar, and he Googled us. He Googled the cigars, and our name come up. Mm-hmm. And he come in, and he sat at our place and smoked cigars with us for about 4 hours. He just hung out like one of the guys. And we've had some ex-NFL players come in, some guys from Atlanta come up that played basketball. And you never know who's going to be in there.
I was in Palm Beach a couple weeks ago, and I was walking down this alley, and then the back of it was a cigar shop. And I looked in, there were two guys sitting there, and I thought to myself, they probably didn't know each other before they went in there.
That's a big possibility. That's a big possibility.
I don't know what it is about cigars that makes people want to relax or something. There's something mystical about that.
I don't have my finger on it. I'm working on it, though. I mean, guys want to know what kind of tobacco is in that cigar. Where'd it come from? Wonder why it costs what it costs.
Or are they just asking those questions because they're just wanting to see how you think on other stuff, too? You ever wonder about that? It's just a conversation starter, and then from there you go into something else, maybe.
It's definitely a conversation starter, and most conversations do lead other places.
Have you found that being in business is harder than you thought, or is it? Of course, you're not making something, and you're not manufacturing something. You're just providing a place with supplies. But is it harder than you thought, or easier than you thought?
I thought it would be a lot of work, and it is a lot of work. I mean, it's a business. If you want it to be good, you got to be there. You got to run it. You got to listen to your customers. Not all of them, but listen to your customers and try to take care of business, man. I mean, there's something always going on. Something always need worked on. There's inventory. Always need replenished.
Something's out. Something's going out at all times. I guess something's getting
always,
low.
Man. Always. We've had a flood over there. We survived a flood over there where our sensor went out and water just kept shooting out in the humidity-wise, and it flooded. We've had a leak from above. People above us had a leak. We had the plumbing to go out above us, so it affected our place. And COVID-19.
Boy, I bet. How did you deal with that?
We're fortunate. Our customers actually helped us deal with that. They come to us, man, and cigar smokers want to smoke cigars, no matter what's going on. And we were the suppliers, and they wanted cigars, so they would call us, hey, can I come get a box of this? Yeah, we'll meet you at the store, get the cigars, give it to them.
Did you close down? Did you close down?
We did close down, but they would call us and tell us what they want, and then they would come, grab the cigars, and go. You know, nobody come inside.
Well, was that y'all's choice to not open up for people to come inside, or was it just not anybody doing it anyway?
Well, it got pretty bad, and we chose to be err on the side of caution.
There for a couple of months, it was.
Yeah, we chose caution. You know.
My subcontractors, I would have plumbing supplies delivered to one job because there wasn't anybody on there, and then the plumbers had to go get it from that job and bring it here because the delivery people didn't want to be next to some, you know. I mean, and I thought, well, they got the right to be safe just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, if that's what they want to do,
Right.
deal with it. So, but I believe that's all over now, don't you?
I don't know if it's over or not. I think we have a little better hand on what's going on. I think
I haven't known anybody that's had it in a while.
Well, my son had it, my mom had it, my dad had it, and my daughter had it, and my wife had it.
Did you never have it?
I didn't get it.
I had it.
I didn't get it.
Gwen had it. He had it
My
real
business
bad.
partner, Abu, had it.
Wonder how you escaped it.
I don't know. Fortunate. I've been blessed. I've been fortunate. I haven't had it.
Maybe you had it, didn't know it.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been feeling pretty good though, but there's no telling.
I had it. I took NyQuil. It helped.
It did?
Yeah, knocked it right out.
Good.
2 days, NyQuil. I guess just sleep.
Right.
Yeah. So, what else do you think is? Do you? I mean, you've got a real successful thing going on there. Could you use more space, or are you comfortable with the space that it's in?
Well, we love where we are, but at times, like, man, we need a bigger spot because the people that come, you know, it'd be nice to have to expand wide or up or however. But where we are is a pretty good spot downtown Cleveland, Tennessee, especially trying to grow Cleveland, Tennessee, you know.
Sure.
And
it.
On the Courthouse Square at 30 2nd Street is the law firm of Logan Thompson Law. Since 1965, they have served the legal needs for the good citizens of Cleveland-Bradley County. If you've got a problem, they're no problem. Give them a call.
People are coming to your place. There's plenty of parking, really, because most people would come from like 3 to 8, and somewhere around 6 you start getting easier parking, right?
we have people sometimes there when we open up.
Is that right?
We used to have a guy sitting on the back patio. When I opened up that door, he was right there waiting on me. And on Saturdays, we have people sitting out front waiting on us to open up. So it's at all times, man. It's great. The community has really supported us. Abu and I, when we first opened up, we'd be the only 2 in there, and then these old ladies would start coming in. I was like, oh shoot! I just knew we was gonna get it because of cigar smoke.
Yeah.
But they were like, we are so happy that you are here. I mean, the older ladies coming through, and we're so happy that you're here. Downtown Cleveland needed you. This is what we needed. This reminds me of my daddy, or this reminds me of my granddaddy.
Yeah.
And you know, that really means a lot.
Well, y'all have done good. And do you have a like, you have to have a lot of employees or just a few?
We have 3 people that work with us.
Yeah.
Our cousin Jackie.
Yeah.
We have Frank Jimenez. We call him Cuban Frank. On Fridays, he do his little family recipe on Cuban coffee. You know, you on Fridays, you come buy a cigar, Frank make some Cuban coffee for you. So we have that, and then we have Paul Dominguez. Paul's a Mexican guy. Paul looks the part. He has the beard, the curly mustache.
That's important.
Yeah, and he really looks the part and does a great job. He knows cigars. Jackie, they all love Jackie. Jackie's the sports girl. They want to talk sports with Jackie. She want to handle everything that's going on ball game wise.
So you sometimes order the pay-per-view. You have cable. You order the pay-per-view
Yeah,
for
we
like
order-
the
we will order.
MMA fights or the
Yeah.
Super Bowl or whatever.
Yeah. We definitely watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be a shop if we
Yeah.
didn't watch Super Bowl. We'd have
So you have to pay for the pay-per-view.
yeah, we do.
Does it come on like 2 TVs there?
We'll put it on all our TVs.
How many
And,
TVs you got?
We have 3 TVs. We have that front sitting area.
Yeah.
That's the main area. We have a big 70-inch TV in there. Well, actually, we have 2 TVs in there, so we have 4 TVs. The other one's usually on YouTube or something like that, showing cigars being hand rolled or
Yeah.
whatever. And then in the second sitting room, we call that the wild apricot. Wild apricot. Why? Ocoee in Cherokee means wild apricot.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever eaten a wild apricot.
that's what it's called. That's what it means.
That's interesting. You think you'll ever have another location?
I think we will one day. I think we will. We're really trying to learn the business. We're still learning it and still making picking up relationships. We've had a couple of owners of cigar companies to come in and actually come into our lounge and hang out with us.
Now, are you on the Family First board also,
I am not.
or you were?
I'm on the 100 Black Men of Bradley County. I'm the chairman of the new member chairman.
How do they get the 100 black men? What's the significant about the 100?
The name is, what's significant about the name 100 Black Men? In New York is where it originated in 1963, 93, something like that, 63. Jackie Robinson and 99 other men, black men. At the time they didn't know it was 100, but they decided they wanted to do something to change the way things were. And in the room, it just happened to be 100 black men. And from there, the name became the 100 Black Men of New York, the 100 Black Men of Chattanooga or Nashville.
Well, 100 men of
Atlanta.
anything thinking together can make a difference, can't they?
Right. Of course, we don't have 100 members in our organization, but we work hard.
You mean in Bradley County?
In Bradley County,
So
right.
you're the chairman of the new member
I'm the new member chairman
of Bradley
of
County.
the Bradley County. Yes.
How many members are there?
We got about 20, 30 members.
Seems like they ought to have more support than that. I thought
Yeah.
there was more than that. I think
But
I know.
we've had a few that have moved on, that has aged out.
Yeah.
And whatever. It was Bradley County chapter, founded by Avery Johnson, my father, a few other.
Was your
young
father
men.
friends with Avery?
Yes. They're deacons at our church.
Is that-
Pleasant Grove Missionary Baptist Church?
Avery's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
You mean in
Well-known
in
well-known
Charleston?
Bradley County. Avery Johnson.
Yeah. Doesn't he go to Charleston?
No. He's a councilman.
Oh,
here in
I
Cleveland.
know. I'm thinking of Harry Johnson.
Harry Johnson.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Harry. He's
He's a good guy. He's a good
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. I've had Avery here and his brother Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both of them deacons at our church. We all go to church together.
Yeah, he was. He came here during COVID and was telling me how they were doing the communion, passing it out the window. When people came by, because it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did y'all have a pretty good crowd there?
No, not during COVID. No,
But I mean, now is it back?
I don't think it's what it was, because people still hadn't gone back. But
Ours is down some too. It's
Yeah.
just not quite what it was, but it's getting there. I think
it'll get back.
it's hard not to go to church on Sundays when you've always gone to church on
Yeah.
Sundays.
It is. I need to get back in there.
Well, it's just everybody's so busy anymore. But Sunday mornings, what else you gonna do, right?
Right.
So what other hobbies you got? Anything?
I enjoy golf. I don't get to play a lot, but I enjoy it. I spend time. I have a son. I spend time with my son, talking to my daughter, and my wife, and I love just hanging out with the family.
Well, you got it pretty good, don't you, with your retirement? Did you think in '08, when things were getting pretty bad, did you think you'd be where you're at now? Retired?
I did not. I did not.
I mean, you take back in '08 when things, because I remember it was bad.
It was.
It was bad. If you didn't think it was bad, you weren't in the business at that time. What kind of marketing had you done? Didn't you sell some pharmaceuticals or something?
Yeah, I did medical equipment.
Medical equipment, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that hard to sell?
No. It was more of a marketing side of that when I did the medical equipment. I didn't have to go door to door selling it, but South Carolina was my territory. I did mobility. I'd actually deliver the chairs, or pick up chairs, rebuild the chairs, or sell the chairs also. So.
In South, was that hard being from here, or did you move there?
No, I'd leave out on Monday, head to South Carolina, come back on Thursday evening.
How long did it take you to drive there about?
All week. I mean,
did you drive there like it take, what, 6 hours or something?
No, to get to South Carolina?
Yeah.
No, to get to South Carolina, probably about 4 hours, 3 hours sometimes.
How long did you do that?
I did that for like 4 years.
Boy, I bet
4
that
5
got
years.
tired.
Yeah.
I bet you got tired of driving there and back.
It was tough. It was tough.
Well, I bet it's all you could do to keep from moving there, wasn't it?
I was happy to have a job. I was happy to have a job. So it didn't really bother me. At that time, I wasn't married, so I was good.
But when '08 hit, and did sales go down?
Well, that's when I went to the railroad.
But I mean, prior to that, were they going?
Everything was fine. Everything was fine then. I left on a good note and went to the railroad.
But I mean,
And that's when it started to get a little rough.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. So you just dock in time.
Yeah, just in time. Yeah. And then,
Just think what would have happened.
well, everything, when it got bad, I was furloughed from the railroad and then went back. So I started out in Etowah and then got furloughed. And then I went to Atlanta because I could hold a job in Atlanta seniority wise. And then that's when I stayed in Atlanta.
Boy, everything's going real good, isn't it?
Everything's going fine, and I can't complain, Yeah, both my mother and my father, taking care of them. They're doing all right. Well, they're making it. And got my family, got my brothers and sisters, and good friends. I get to go to a cigar lounge, to work.
Yeah.
I don't like calling it work because I enjoy it.
Are you there about every day or 6 days a week?
I'm there about every day. I'm normally not there on Sunday unless it's Super Bowl.
But it's not a real demanding business like you would be if you was making and selling hamburgers, right? I mean, you can.
No, I'm not stressing over tomatoes and onions.
Yeah, right.
But
Yeah.
get that heat going on. It's just we put those. You want to have the cigars that the guys want to smoke. So that's the thing right there. Make sure you have good cigars in there.
Do you have cigar salesmen come and try to get you to put theirs on the shelf like you would in the grocery store?
Yeah, we do. And the thing that they say about us, they love coming to our place because we treat them with open arms. We're like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? Have a seat. And, whether we put something on the shelf or not, we still, we're inviting. And a lot of places they go to, they're like, man, they don't even want to see us.
Are they on consignment or do you have to buy them?
Oh, no, we buy them.
Oh, yes.
We buy them.
So it's not like,
we
it's like
wholesale,
you got to really kind of be sold on it yourself.
Right, exactly.
Do they have a shelf life or as long as they're in the
As long as
humidity?
they're in the right humidity, and they're good. Right temperature and humidity.
You ever get some that just don't seem to sell?
I have, yes.
What do you do with them? Just run a special?
Mark them down a little bit and move them that way, or hand them out as a door prize. And then,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, just door prize them and move on.
I bet there would be more money in that humidor than I would believe.
We probably got a few $100,000 worth of cigars.
Golly, I would have never dreamed.
I mean, they
I would have thought 10,000. That's a couple of hundred.
that's probably just right over 100.
Even 100 surprises me. That's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot of cigars, yeah. We probably got over 100 different facings. Over 100, maybe 100, 150 different facings, which is different sizes or boxes of cigars.
Because, yeah, there are, you got the kind of Clint Eastwood smoked, I guess those.
The twigs.
Yeah, the
Cigarillo.
cigarillos.
Yeah. Yeah. And then our most expensive cigar that we have in there now is $66
For one cigar.
for one cigar. That's what we have in there now. And the most expensive we've had in there previously was let's say what $80 cigar.
$80
In our place
cigar.
it was $80.
How long would it-
But I went to a place in Cincinnati. They had that same cigar for $90.
So still, it's a $80 cigar.
Yeah, for a box.
How long does it take to smoke an $80 cigar?
It depends on the size and the.
Well, say the one you've got now you got in there for $66.
And again, it depends on the person smoking it. That probably lasts an hour and a half, 2 hours. So get a good smoke out of it.
Would they sometimes put it out and go back to smoking it the next day?
It wouldn't be recommended, especially if you paid that much for a cigar. I mean, you want to sit down, relax,
And it's
smoke
not
that
in the
thing.
humidor. It's not in the humidor then,
right
right?
now. And you don't want to put a pre-lit cigar in with your good cigars. That's not good. It's gonna make those cigars smell bad.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
There's some transfer of smell or something with them.
Right. Yeah. That smell bad, and you'll taste it.
Well, one thing that's valuable is an empty cigar box. People put all kinds of stuff in them, don't they? They're the right
Yeah.
size for stuff.
Yeah. Man, at my house, I have a box. I have my remote controls in. I have a box with my keys in.
I keep all my rings, and I don't wear rings. I keep them all in a cigar box that I've got.
I have a cigar box for my bow ties, for my ties. I have a box for my little hankies. Hey, man, they come in handy. I repurpose them.
You know, over there at the Gardeners, they got tea you can buy in those little boxes. They're handy, too.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like balsa wood, and they're like this big, and you can put stuff in it, too.
Well, that's a great spot over there, isn't it?
Boy, I like it, yeah.
Great sandwiches.
I like the Three Stooges on TV.
Yeah, they keep that.
But you know, it's so crowded, and I just can't stand in line, so I don't go a lot of times because I know it's going to be crowded.
Have you had Fork and Spoon? They're pretty good, too.
Where is that at? Oh, is that next door?
That's the one in the library. They used to be next door.
I went there one time when there was next door. I like going to different places to
I
eat.
do. Spoonies.
Yeah, Spoonies. I've eaten at Spoonies.
Man, I tear some
Spoonies is good.
They have a great hamburger.
They got good French. I tell you what they got good is they got real good ketchup. They got the good ketchup. Yeah. Like for French fries, they got the real thick ketchup.
That's their real stuff.
Yeah.
They have a good fish sandwich, too.
And that's what I ate, a catfish sandwich.
Oh, man, it's so good.
Let's see, there was another place in town that I'd been. Oh, I tell you what, First Baptist, you ever go up there on Wednesdays? They have
haven't.
free lunch. They have $8 lunch at First
Oh,
Baptist.
really?
Yeah, it's $8. No tip, all you can eat.
Really?
It's really good. It's a good deal. I don't think they have it in the summer. I think it's just through the winter, but you ought to try it one Wednesday. It's really good.
Take a homeless person with you and do that.
Yeah, I take some of my guys working with me, and I say, I'm gonna buy all y'all's lunch. It's just $30 or something.
Oh, that's good. That's good to do.
Makes it look like
People appreciate it, man.
They really do. You know, you can buy somebody's lunch, and it means more to them than giving them $100.
Yeah. Yeah. They would remember that.
They remember it
that.
more than they would the $100.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you'd have said more than $20.
yeah, 100 is getting low.
I tell you what, give me 100.
Well, what do you think is? You know, you really ought to run for some public office in Cleveland. You got a real good speaking voice.
Thank you. You know, we both served on the planning
The
commission
planning
together.
commission, yep.
So, I guess I've done my duty.
Yeah, and I did mine. And I'm finished, and I'm off of that, and I'm glad. it was a hard thing to be on. You had to really think about
You
stuff.
did. You have to worry, think about everything, man.
Everything.
So you make the right decisions.
Yeah, and you know, there's always another side. And so it'd be like a judge. You're always making one side happy, one side sad.
Yeah.
And you take years of that, it can't be good in the future if you're, you know. I don't know why people want to do that. I don't know why I did it, but the boys' club would be a good. Now they have monthly meetings, right?
Yeah, we have.
Do you go to those?
I have to. I'm the president
Well,
of the board.
I went about 4 months ago. I can't remember what it was. It might have. I can't remember. Ann Moss was there, and I sat with Ann. But they've got a good organization. Do you think that the boys, now they have buses that drive from the schools to there of an afternoon, right?
Yeah, we actually have guys that drive buses, pick up the kids up, and bring them back to the clubs.
There's like, what, 6 or 8 buses?
I don't know how many buses we have. We probably could use a couple of more. You know, you may want to donate.
Yeah. I know.
That's a great cause, man. I can say this while we're talking. If you want to make a donation to someone, the Boys and Girls Club of the Ocoee region could use your donations. I mean, they make so much of a difference in the lives of kids. And if you sit and listen to the stories of those kids,
And here's one.
I'm one. But there's some. I come up in a great family, a wonderful mother and father. But there's those kids out there that don't have a great mother or have a great father. And sometimes it's not the mother and father's fault. It's just that things aren't going their way in the situations, you know, and there's some choose to be like that. And there's kids that are hurting, and the Boys and Girls Club is saving those kids. And I mean, they're there for them. Sometimes it's the only meal they get. Sometimes it's the only leadership that they get, the only parenting that they really get. You know, someone to make them feel like they're wanted, because they go home and sometimes they don't have a meal. So they'll go home and they're getting abused or mistreated. And when those kids tell those stories and you listen to them, man, and it's heart-wrenching. And I could say the same thing about the 100 Black Men. We've given over $800,000 in scholarship money to kids to go to college. We've mentored boys and girls. You know, we go into Cleveland Middle School right now every Friday mornings and mentor the boys and girls over there. I haven't been personally myself in a while, but that's something our organization do. And when you donate to those 2 organizations, I know for sure that the money's being used properly. On the 100 Black Men side, none of us are paid for what we do. We all volunteer.
Well, that's really something. You know, did you ever go watch that movie, Mr. Rogers? You know, they came out with that here. Remember I don't remember if it was at the beginning of the movie or the end of the movie. He said, always look for the people that are trying to help. Was that the statement?
I'm not for sure, but he was a good one.
He said, always look for the people that are trying to help, and that's the Boys Club and
It is.
And the 100, you know, and all these organizations.
Yeah, there are
that are nonprofit. I can't think of any of them that has I'm sure there's some that there's, you know, crazy stuff going on, but I don't know of any around here. And we have to have those places. And it's better to give to the organizations because they can know best where to put it.
Right.
I was over there with Steve Hickson, you know, he's a good friend of mine. He said that when they get there from school, they get a snack bag.
Yeah.
And he said that was some of them supper.
Yes.
And here we're living in Cleveland thinking everything's great.
Exactly. It's an eye-opener.
It's an eye-opener.
It is an eye-opener.
I know one thing. People that go over there and get on the board, they stay on the board because they want to help.
Right. And the people that get on the board, we want them to continue to help. We want them to be active, you know.
Yeah.
not just sit there, or not to be a shirt wearer. As my fraternity, I was a member of a fraternity at MTSU, and we would feed families. We would, Thanksgiving and Christmas, we'd buy toys, for Christmas for kids. And then there were the ones that we called the shirt wearers, the guys that get into fraternity, but they just wanted to wear the shirt. They just want to go to the parties.
Get the jackets
Just
or
get
whatever.
the jacket, yeah. And we don't. And then we like, hey, we don't want shirt wearers. We want workers. We want people that has the passion. And the same go for the Boys and Girls Club. We don't want you coming to our organization just sitting there. We want you to, to be active, do something. If you can't go out and do something, then make a donation. And the same with the 100 Black Men.
Chuck, you make me feel. you really are impressive, I tell you.
Thank you, Dee. You're impressive.
Not as much as you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.